Hi, I'm Rhonda Gaskins, broker Century 21 Lake Area Realty in the Lake Martin area. On average, our sales price are commanding a strong 96% of list price. Call me today and let me get started for you. 256-749-3644.
Well, I had been officiating high school sports for about 20-something years and been working for the railroad and been involved in the union side of that. And so somewhere in that point, my knees were wearing out, my body was getting a little older. I knew male modeling was probably out. Probably did not have a chance to get on the PGA with Tiger. So I was kind of looking for something I could do, a hobby that I could enjoy, something that wouldn't be too hard, wouldn't take a genius to do. And we were at a thrift show and happened to see a tailgate bench there with a kind of a newer tailgate, and really wasn't impressed with the build, but the concept of it really hit me, and that was probably about 12 years ago. And then a good friend of mine right here in this area, Dane Hawk, he had done a couple, and it gave me the appetite to want to start doing it. And I had started building some of them in a vintage mode, and was charging probably way more than what I should have, and had a lot of people asking me, you know, if we like what you're doing, if you could do it at a price we could afford, we'd enjoy that. So to be honest with you, I sat down and made a few rules for what we were doing. And one, I wanted to find tailgates at a certain price, and however I found them, that's how they would be. I might sand them a little bit, whatever, but that's what they were. That was the integrity of that old tailgate that I found. Plus, we were providing something nostalgic and getting it out of the scrap yards. And then we sat down and broke down the price on every screw, paintbrush, stain, everything involved, every board involved. And so we were able to come up with like a standard price that was pretty cheap. Basically, my wife said I had to make a little bit of money on this or I wasn't doing it, but at the same time, we're not trying to make a living off of each one of them. So about 10 years ago, I happened to paint up one, an old Ford, and I painted it up in Florida colors for a guy that had asked about it, and it took off from then, with folks enjoying the fact that they could get an old tailgate and enjoy the nostalgia of it, along with the colors of their favorite team. I've done businesses, high schools, sports teams, things like that, and it's always been a lot of fun for me. Around the holidays, things like that, it gets really busy, and then sometimes it'll be a little slow. But it's something I've enjoyed doing, and it is so much fun. Got to meet a lot of different people on both sides of the bench building. It really is kind of neat, because when they first contact you, a lot of times you'll have a brief conversation and they'll tell you what they're looking for and kind of their concept of it and the reason behind it. And a lot of times those are very endearing reasons, you know. So it really makes you put a little more heart into it a lot of times, knowing the background behind the reason they want a certain color or model tailgate. And then when you get to meet those people and see the reason that they ordered it, yeah, that can be real heartwarming sometimes. I've seen them order for their granddads, seen them order for their dads and things like that, and it's really a cool thing to do. I'm always blown away by it. You know, the first one I delivered to Miami was the first one that I had delivered outside of 15 miles from where I was at in Jacksonville, Florida at the time. And it was a retired police officer, and he said they had a garage down there where they worked on old trucks and things, and he had asked me for an old Chevy. It was a certain model, and just black and white. And I delivered it down there to him, and me and that guy are still friends and still talk to him from time to time. And to see that impact, and then have somebody from Michigan, you know, find me out of anywhere and tell me that he enjoyed the look of my benches and the way I built them and things like that. And that's why he was willing to pay the gas fee to meet me, in Tennessee just to get a bench. That's pretty powerful, It tells you you're doing some pretty good stuff. Had a man come from St. Louis to get a St. Louis Blues bench that I had built for them. So getting to see that impact of it going out that far, it means a lot. Got a bench right now I'm trying to finish up for a really nice guy in Jackson, Mississippi that ordered it for his dad. And he called me and said, look, I Googled tailgate benches and you're the main one out there. And he said, I want to order something for my dad. So to see that just something simple like that, a little hobby, is expanded that far, yeah, that's pretty big right there. And I enjoy it. Like I said, it's still a hobby. I'm not trying to make a living off of it. And like I said earlier, my wife said I've always got to make some kind of money or I'm not doing these anymore. But if I can make a little bit of money and at the same time build something that can put a smile on somebody's face and be a legacy in their home, yeah, that's big to me.